Today I am tired again, which I'm not surprised. I've been driving 7 hours straight for 3 days in a row. But today I get to have a little bit of fun. I'm at SeaWorld San Antonio.
Let's talk about amusement parks, like rides in the dark. Rides right here and rides all over, but mostly coasters, We'll talk about all kind of things, but mostly coasters.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Mario. This is a channel all about amusement park type stuff, but mostly coasters. Did not think I'd be returning to this park anytime soon, but here I am. I am quite excited. They have a new coaster since the last time I've been here. I'm excited. I'm also going to go to Fiesta, Texas later today, so it's going to be a fun day. So I was trying to hit up Texas Stingray first, but much like Busch Gardens, at least in Tampa, they have certain sections of the park closed off till 11. So until 11, I'm gonna check out Steel Eel. Still gonna have a lot of fun until Texas Stingray opens. So just walked on to Steel Eel back row, and back row exactly the same as it was a year ago. You get a little bit stronger airtime, but you get slammed into your seat at the end of the drop. Definitely gonna hit it up again. So they're actually assigning rows, which is perfectly fine. I understand you gotta keep the line moving, especially with limited capacity and all that stuff. So row, I don't know, 9, I guess? Never ridden in the middle, so at least it'll be unique. So Steel Eel row 9, pretty much the dead center of the train. Pretty good, definitely the weakest of everywhere I've sat on that as far as front, middle, and back. Less violent in the back, at least at the bottom of the hills. You're not getting slammed as much. The floater's pretty decent, but again, even the floater is better in the middle than in the back. I prefer the airtime pretty much the closer to the front you get, apparently. So really good, not fantastic, but totally fine that I got put there to keep the line moving. So it seems like Wave Breaker is another one of those coasters that does not open till 11. So I guess I will just be stuck with another ride on Steel Eel. Bummer. So just did Steel Eel for a third time in a row, this time in the third row. Definitely my favorite place to sit. You're not going into the valleys of the drops nearly as quickly, so you're not getting slammed nearly as hard. A much smoother experience, as well as better airtime going into the airtime hills. Really, really solid. But regardless, it's about 5 till 11, so I'm heading on over to get my first rides on Texas Stingray. So if you are planning on coming to this park at opening, they really actually only have one of the coasters open when the park opens. So just keep that in mind. It's not really a park that you have to get here at opening. I guess you can if you want to marathon Steel Eel, but other than that, there's not really a whole lot else to do.
Yes, you should please remain seated until the ride has come to a full and complete stop.
So I just did back-to-back rides, no wait, one in the front, one in the back, and very, very surprisingly, I preferred the front. This is actually the only GCI and one of the only wooden coasters that I've been on that I prefer the front. It just seems to take all of the more impactful moments faster, has a lot of really great off-axis airtime. Going into some of those overbanks, you just get flung out of your seat up front. So I'm probably gonna sit closer to the front again, but either way, really, really solid. Actually better than I was expecting, so round 3. So I just got off maybe 3 more rides on Texas Stingray. I did 2 rides in the back, 2 in the front, and 2 in row 3 overall. Super, super solid ride no matter where you sit. I think the front is definitely gonna give you the most bang for your buck though. All those little hops and twists that really throw you around are the most powerful in the front row. One thing I did want to mention though, even though they are only seating every other row, they do have the back row open, which is really cool. They appreciate the fact that some people specifically want the very back. Really cool stuff there. They're also doing a really fantastic job of enforcing masks on ride before every dispatcher reminding people to put them on. So yeah, rides employees specifically doing a fantastic job. Throughout the park, it's not as good, but there is plenty of room for people to distance, so I'm not having too big of a problem with it, but I do think they could benefit from someone just going around the park, reminding guests to wear their masks. But super fun day so far. It's actually really interesting. Most of the pops, the airtime come on turns. Again, that's why I think front row is best. So for example, right there is one of them sitting in the front. When you twist, when you go from unbanked to bank, you get thrown out of your seat. You can also see right there is another one of those airtime pops that you go into where you're starting off straight and then get tossed to the right. Especially if you're sitting on the left side here, you're gonna get thrown up out of your seat. Also, after marathoning Texas Stingray 6 times, I went on Sea Swinger, is their compact little Zamperla pendulum ride. Actually super fun compared to the Zamperla Giant Discoveries. They actually give similar forces. You just don't feel like you're moving as fast, well, because obviously you're not. But there's quite a few times where you go what feels like nearly vertical and you feel like you're upside down. Not quite as intense as the ones that go all the way upside down, but still super, super fun. So highly recommend it. It looks tiny, but it is super fun. Wave breaker, super, super fun. I love this thing. Gonna marathon it if possible. Wave breaker was chill, very fun, nice and relaxing, super smooth. Got a ride in the second to last row, got a ride in the front. Front is where it's at on that one too. I like all the coasters here in the front. Very rare for me, but yeah. Probably gonna hit up Texas Stingray again, get some footage, and then head on to Fiesta, Texas. So just got off of my 7th, I think, probably final ride of Texas Stingray in the front, and it is going faster now. I really wish I could stay for those later night-ish rides today. I'm in a mass break area right now, very much needed with the whatever temperature it is. It's hot. So this is a Discovery Point. They have a really nice indoor air-conditioned viewing area. And this is actually technically not inside of SeaWorld. This is free admission, but also just a nice place to come in and escape the heat and still have something to look at as well. So right here you can actually see some of the people doing the dolphin interaction. So we're heading towards another thing that Javi and I didn't hit up on our first visit here. Explorer's Reef, I'm assuming, is an aquarium. Wow, this room is super freaking cool. I mean, you can tell by just the scale of it compared to these folks. Massive. We got some stingrays right here. We're in Texas and they're stingrays. I guess you could say they're Texas stingrays. So that is gonna do it for my day at SeaWorld San Antonio. I really enjoy this park. The first visit that we had fun on was not just a fluke. Actually a really nice park. The operations were pretty smooth. They were taking the masks pretty seriously. They could just use a few more people in the midways to remind people to wear their masks as opposed to just on the rides, but really solid day. I didn't do as much as I did on my first visit with Javey, so if you want to watch that, click here. We go a little more in depth. There's also a video where Javey swims with one of the beluga whales, or two actually, so click on that here if you want to see that. But I'll be heading on over to Fiesta, Texas right about now. Watch that video too, here or somewhere else, I don't really know. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you disliked it, give it 2 thumbs down so I know you really didn't like it. And until next time.